your life is on the line and you know that you're on an oxygen tank and they're going to put you on your head, see what you do. Because the bottom line is that me, I'm one person. I can never miss.
The guy's not being loyal to you. How could you be loyal to him?
Yeah,
and whether you're your father or not. So, you know, but it's always been hard because it was my father.
The word came down, this guy had to go. You know, we didn't know nothing about him until the last minute. And I liked him. I liked Billy. He was a nice guy, but...
Welcome to the show. Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about why Sammy the Bull Gravano pulled a gun on his son, put a gun right to his head, and he had every intention on scaring the daylights out of him. We're going to get into that story. Some people don't even know about this situation, so I'm here to bring it to light. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Got a lot of things to go over today. Rah, what's up? John Wayne, how are you? Latin Butterfly, how are you? Tommy Sticks Social Club, what's good with you, man? Thank you all for joining me today. Now, today, you guys know what today's topic at hand is. Sammy Gravano pulling a gun and putting it to his son's head. Now, why would he do something like that? Why would someone put a gun to their own son's head? I know why, and I'm going to tell you guys now. So, the reason why he put a gun to his son's head has to do with his ex-girlfriend. Now, the U.S. says Gravano plotted to murder his son's girlfriend. Salvatore Gravano, the Gambino family turncoat, is having a difficult month. Now, this is an old article. On May 1st, the government unsealed a new indictment against Mr. Gravano, who's better known as Sammy the Bottom Bull. He is charged with threatening a former business partner, stifle his testimony on an up-and-coming trial. On Tuesday, Mr. Gravano got word that his son Gerard, who is also charged in the pending case, wanted a separate trial from dear old dad. Why is that? Court papers indicated that Gerard Gravano, 24, feared that his father's ratting past would drag him down. Then came yesterday, when the government released a 34-page document that describes what it politely called the elder Mr. Gravano, other crimes. Federal prosecutors claim that Mr. Gravano plotted to murder Gerard's girlfriend for boasting that she was dating Sammy the Bull's son. And he threatened Gerard as well, putting a gun to his own son's head for disrespecting the family. Now, do you think this is a changed man? The guy who put a gun to his son's head? Because of his girlfriend? He didn't change. And that's why every chance I get, I'm going to put Sammy on the hot seat. I'm going to expose him every chance I get. I got someone else that that has been running their mouth a lot lately, you know? And we're going to take it to him tomorrow. I got some information about this guy you guys might want to know. You guys all know who we're talking about. This guy, Mr. Dom, the rapping ass Sicali, wet brain Sicali, the rat that keeps on ratting. So I got a special for tomorrow for Dom, and it's at 11 o'clock. So, hey, Dom, if you're feeling froggy, maybe you should join me. And you can defend yourself, number one. Number two, you can try to explain all of the shit that I'm going to bring to the people tomorrow. You could explain it away. And now the shit that I'm going to explain tomorrow has happened after Dom cooperated. So it's going to be pretty interesting. You guys don't want to miss that one. Anyway, let's get back to it. Wrong picture. My bad. I got a little bit of a cold. Forgive me. So, let's get back to it. In June, the Gravanos are scheduled to go on trial in federal district court in Brooklyn on charges of running a multi-million-dollar drug ring that purchased thousands of ecstasy pills in Brooklyn and sold them in Arizona. The government says it should be allowed to tell the jury of Salvatore Gravano's checkered past because he used his rough and tumble background to frighten his competitors in the Arizona drug trade, keeping his employees in line and his own son. Like, I think Sammy the Bull, I think he gets off on putting fear in people. I think he enjoyed putting fear in his son. Like, you're gonna pull a gun on your son because your son's girlfriend's going around saying that she's with Sammy the Bull's son? So you put a gun to his head because of that? Because he disrespected the family? What about you? What about what you did? Bringing your wife, your kids, all into this drug operation. And basically, you tried to blame it on them. Anyone that gets their family involved with some shit like this, they do not deserve a second chance. They don't. Sammy's sleeping with that chick, Anna? What? Are you serious? The one that was dancing in that little party they had, right? Wow. Maybe I'll have to look into that, huh? I got some more stuff coming up about Sammy. Hold on, let me finish this this article right here. Here he is. All right. To end the federal prosecution plan to introduce evidence that Mr. Gravano moved to Arizona under the witness protection program. Right there should have null and void his whole agreement. Should have went back in prison for all the murders, everything, once he did this shit. So it says, under the witness protection program, had formed something called the Arizona Mafia. And guess what their fucking name was? Their little rat mafia. The name of their rat mafia was the Devil Dogs. So Sammy the Bull Gravano is running around Arizona, freshly out of the witness protection program for the rat that he is. And he's running around Arizona like he's this big kingpin because he knows that name will scare people. Sammy the Bull. Oh. But he can't kill people with his own hand. He has to have other people do it. Sammy Gravano is a punk. And he will never, ever be a noble person. Can you imagine being extorted by a rat? I know someone who was extorted by a rat. They look up to this person like they're a god. Pay them money, take their money. Anyone that would pay a fucking rat to hang out with them explains it all right there. Crazy. I don't know. Maybe that gives them legitimacy. Like they have connections or something. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Fucking punks, man. He calls something the Arizona Mafia, the Western chapter of La Cosa Nostra, the Rat Mafia, which intended to recruit or had recruited certain and former criminal Confederates who had committed homicides in the past, the document said. They also planned to tell the jury that Mr. Gravano hatched at least 4 murder plots in Arizona, none of which were ever carried out. Mr. Gravano's lawyer ridiculed the charges. Out of the Arizona desert rides the phantom of Sammy the Bull, she said, committing new crimes in which there is no evidence. Yeah, right. There was tons of evidence in these cases. Indeed, some of the accusations that are mentioned in the documents are not expected to be introduced at the trial are truly bizarre. According to one, Mr. Gravano planned to murder Ronald Kirby, a New York lawyer and radio personality who was pursuing civil lawsuit on behalf of the families of the 19 men Mr. Gravano had admitted that he had killed. The plan, the document said, was to lure Mr. Kirby to Texas and then have him murdered. And that was Sammy Gravano's little plan. But they never bring that up in the trial. Why? Why not? I think the federal prosecutors had egg on their face already. So I don't think they really wanted to bring more attention to this whole situation. Because, I mean, once they tell, man, once you cooperate, you're done. Like these people are living in like an imaginary land where they think they're still involved with the mob. It's really weird, really weird. And then you got these other people who straight idolize them. They idolize these people, and they don't care. They'll like pay any dollar to be in their presence. And to think that you would even like, so say you have a friendship with one of these cooperators, right? Who's to say they're not going to tell on you? Do you think you're better than John Gotti or Vinny Bassiano or any of these people that all these people have told on? No, you're not. Like John A. Light. Come on, man. That dude's not to be trusted. None of these people. No. Once you start cooperating with the government, like, come on, you're over there in Arizona trying to start your own mafia, the devil dog, Sammy, and you put a gun to your own son's head to scare him just because his girlfriend's talking about you. I'm talking about you. What are you going to do to me, Sammy? Not a fucking thing. Your son, Gerard, has to assault Lee Cole because he can't take being on camera. See, you guys, the difference between me and you guys get hurt by words. You can say anything you want about me. It don't mean shit. I got another story I'm going to read you. Let's get into it. It began in July of 1999 as an undercover police investigation into the Phoenix area juveniles were getting designer drugs at all-night parties. The trail eventually led authorities to mafia turncoat Salvatore Sammy the Bottom Bull Gravano, who helped put Gambino crime boss John Gotti Sr. behind bars for life in 1992 and was supposed to be living a quiet life in the Phoenix suburbs. Gravano, 56, pleaded guilty Friday to charges that he masterminded a multi-million-dollar ecstasy ring and sold drugs from Arizona to New York. Arizona General's attorney said Gravano was indicted on 10 counts. He pleaded guilty to all 10. including conspiracy to sell dangerous drugs, participating in criminal syndicate, conducting illegal enterprise, offering to sell or transport dangerous drugs, money laundering, use of a wire or electronics communications in drug-related transactions, plus misconduct involving weapons and drug possession. Napolitano said 37 of the 46 defendants involved in the drug ring have now pleaded guilty. One of the largest in the Brooklyn-born Gravano, a confessed mafia hitman and hairstylist, admitting to killing 19 people. But he served only 5 years in prison on racketeering charges under his deal with New York prosecutors to testify against John Gotti. He had left the federal witness protection program in 1997 and was living in Tempe in June of 1998. And if you guys don't know, Mr. Gravano went as far as to have plastic surgery to change the way he looked so that people wouldn't come and kill him. Now everybody knows where he is. And I definitely believe that, who knows, man, shit always comes around. Always. You never know. So he had left the federal program in 97. He lived in Tempe in June of 98 using the name Jimmy Moran and operating a Phoenix construction company. His wife owned an Italian restaurant in Scottsdale. Authorities said Gravano got involved in the drug business ran by his son's friend, who had been failing to turn a profit. Gravano allegedly helped them get it out of the red by overseeing the operation and bankrolling it. At its height, authorities said that the drug ring sold an upward of 30,000 ecstasy pills per week. They cost about $7 per pill and were sold as much as $25 a piece. The ring reportedly was pulling in more than $300,000 a week. Deborah Gravano, 48, pleaded guilty to illegal conduct of an enterprise and faces 5 years of probation, possible 1 year jail term when she's sentenced on August 31st. Karen Gravano, 29, pleaded guilty to the use of a wire or electronic communication. So let me get this straight. Why would they be charged with using a wire or a electronic communication device? Can you tell me that? They were probably bugging people. They probably had a wire and they were listening to other people. You're dealing with the biggest rat in history. To think he didn't have a wire on him. Yeah, he probably had a wire. Most likely. Right? He killed his own brother-in-law. And then he went to the wake. Guess what was there? A hand. One hand. There was one hand in the coffin. And Sammy goes to the funeral like he's all distraught. Dad, what happened? We're going to find the people that did this. If that's not an evil trash bag, I don't know what is. And to you, Dominic Cicali, you knew who this guy was before you went and seen him. So I don't buy all that shit. You know exactly who he is. And sounds like the Addams family, a hand in the coffin. Hey, that's all that was left of him. One hand was in that coffin. Deborah Gravano's brother killed his own brother-in-law. And then to try to grieve with your wife when you're the one that did it? Like, wow, it's insane. And to think he has remorse for anything he did. The fuck out of here. All right. Neither of the women's attorney would comment. Friday's change of a plea hearing before Judge Stephen Sheldon, Maricopa County Sheriff's County Supreme Court. Salvatore Gravano and his family were indicted last year in connection with the drug ring. Federal prosecutors' charges stem from an investigation of a New York ecstasy ring headed to Israel. According to federal complaint, Gravano's drug ring clashed with the New York group over supremacy in Arizona. How can you possibly clash with a group? You are the biggest cooperator in the country. So I don't understand, how is this guy out fresh off the witness protection program? He's using his big mafia name, right? And people are listening to him? How does that work? Where do they do that at? I mean, I know this trash bag has a lot of people following him, but they can't all be bad people, right? They can't be. I don't really have a comment on him yet, but we'll get there. Not only killed him, but chopped him up bit by bit. Gravano's a real family man. Yeah, he is. The ecstasy was coming from overseas through New York and then being distributed by the Gravano crime family in Arizona. That's part of our case. He came here with all the outward appearances of being a legitimate businessman, saying about Gravano, but when police looked into where all the ecstasy was coming from and who was funding the operation, that was Sammy Gravano. He was getting 50 cents a pill for being the financier of the drug ring. Most successful drug prosecution in history. Gravano's sentencing is scheduled for September 28th. He and his 25-year-old son, Gerard, pleaded guilty in New York last month to federal conspiracy count involving the drug case. Federal prosecutors said Gravano faces up to 20 years in prison when he's sentenced September 11th. His son faced 12 years in prison. Arizona prosecutors said Friday that the Gravanos could serve their state prison sentences concurrent with any sentence they receive out of New York. That second judge will have the decision to decide. U.S. Attorney of the Eastern District of New York, they won't definitely be combined. All in likelihood, the sentences will run concurrent. Concurrent and consecutive are two different things. So when you're in court and they're like, oh, we're going to run it concurrent, that means they're running it together. That means if you get 5 years and 3 years, you're just going to do 3 years. If you get 5 years and 3 years, you're going to do the 5 years. They're going to put 3 years in the 5 years. You just do it all together. But when they run it consecutive, they stack the charges. Like, so you get 5 years, you get 3 years, you're going to do 8 years. That's the difference between concurrent and consecutive. All right, also entering pleas were Salvatore Gravano's wife, Deborah, and his daughter, Karen, and Gerard, which he sucked them all into the drug business. Like, if you found out that your family was in the drug business, why wouldn't you try to get them out of it? Why would you put more money into it and like try to run this devil dog mafia, this rat mafia? Like, where do they do that at? Who listens to people like you? And I keep hearing about that girl that Sammy is with, the one that's always asking him questions on his show. I heard that they're an item now. Is that true? Does anybody have any information about that? There's a very cringy video of her going like this and shit on the camera, doing that shit to Gravano. I'll get it for you guys. Make sure you guys go check out Kane Shade's channel. Deborah's trifling as fuck, though. Yes, she is. They're all trifling, man. What's with the girl Dominic has asking him questions? That's his wife, bro. Yeah, I heard that too. Smeagol's banging. I believe it. Wow. Smeagol's banging that young chick? That's crazy. Insane. Look, Ruggiano's got one. Guess who's back? Gene is back. Gene is back. He's going to mentor him. Take it easy on him, Dom. Make sure you take it easy on him. Drink up, buddy. I'm going to mentor you. Drink up. I don't think he's going to listen to you, Dom. She's about 10 feet taller than him. She's going to carry him around his stepladder to get there. What's good, Mickey? How you doing, man? Paul C, what's going on? I'm going to smash these fools every chance I get, man. Liberty, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. Yeah, I'm doing great. Things are really good. If you guys don't know, I was in Boston this past weekend, and I started to film the movie. I went to Boston to start filming the movie, and I have probably about 5 scenes that I did up there. So shout out to all my Boston guys. Shout out to everyone that's involved. I got some really big things that I've been working on behind the scenes. You guys will see what that is very soon. And if you guys haven't seen the show I did about Tupac Shakur, go check it out. The interview with Keefe D is on that show. And I have a part 2 that's going to be coming out today about the whole Tupac situation. And to the person that commented and said that I shouldn't be covering the Tupac situation, fuck off. I do what I want over here. If you don't like what I do, start your own fucking podcast. Besides that, I don't care what you got to say. So if you got some negative shit to say in the comments, by all means. But go check out the show I did about Keefe D, The Interrogation. That one's 2-part. I'm going to be dropping part 2 today. Part 1 is out now. Go check it out. Sammy the Troll Gravano. He shouldn't have went on Vlad. Vlad is the reason why he's going to prison, man. All right. Since he has 2 children, Karen and Gerard, where did Nick come from? Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should talk about that on the next show. Since he has 2 children, Karen and Gerardo, where did Nick come from? That's a good question. Yeah, Keefe D, he should not have went on Vlad. He's straight. So the problem with Keefe D He thought he had an immunity deal, right? But what he had was a proffer. What a proffer is where you tell them everything that you ever did. So they had this drug case that they were bringing against Keefe D and all his people, right? So he went in there and he told on himself to try to get out of trouble. But when you do one of those agreements, you can't speak on it again. If you speak on that type of stuff again, so the book, the interviews with Vlad, the other interviews he did, he buried himself. He would have been able to walk away from that proffer and never talk about it again. But the greed is what got him. He wanted money for the book. He just wrote a book about this situation. He's trying to get paid. But he says that Puffy paid him $1 million in order to do this hit. And they did find $1 million in cash under his bed. So we'll see what Bobo Camp, what's good, man? How you doing? Good morning. Keefe D is one dumb criminal, Staxx. He did it to himself. Definitely did, man. You know, a lot of people don't understand organized crime. Organized crime in the black community. These guys are solidly out here doing the same things the Italians are doing. They just have dark skin. You got that right, man. These people are all doing the same shit. It's just different groups, like he was saying, man. Staxx, you're killing it. All honor from your boy, North Philly in the building. Shout out to Michael Brooks. Thank you. I really appreciate that. They aren't very well organized. Hey, they were able to pull off the Tupac murder and get away with it for 27 years. So he's pretty organized, you know. I hope they do give it to Puffy. He deserves to fucking be dealt a hand in life. This dude gets away with Shine shooting someone for him and all this shit. He doesn't even get in trouble. Crazy, man. It's all good. Off topic, Staxx. I'm from the Bronx. Same neighborhood, the clown Dom. They can't wait for him to make a visit. I commented yesterday in Dom's chat. I said, hey, they want to see you in the Bronx, Dom. He goes, ha, 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 I got no reason to go to the Bronx. You're damn right. Hey, Arulata, they want you to go to the Bronx, too. You keep calling people on that burner phone. How do I know that? He won't go. Arulata and Dom should go there together, you know? Make it a family affair. I'm taking care of all these fuckers one by one. Don't worry. I'll go down the line. None of them will go there, man. I'll be in the Bronx soon, though. What about Nut Rider Nadu? What's going on with him? He didn't get on Joey Merlino's podcast yet, huh? No? Still trying? I don't think that's going to work out for you there, doo-doo boy. Staxx, I wish I could talk on here. Things I could say about Rattlata, forget about it. Hey, man, hit me up. I got a lot of information about him. I already did one show about him a while back. On everything, Staxx, whoever meet up with you in Brooklyn or wherever, I'm coming with you, bro. I got your back. I appreciate that, man. Listen, I'll come out to Brooklyn. I'll come out to Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx. I'll go anywhere. Anywhere in this country, I will go. I ain't worried about nothing. And remember, I'm not trying to be a gangster. I'm not claiming I'm this big, tough guy. I'm not. Back in the day, I got my ass kicked quite a bit. But I'm just calling it like it is. A lot of people want to say the things that I'm saying. They're just scared to say it. But I'm not worried about these people. They're irrelevant. They're they're still living in this fantasy world. But I got something really good for you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned. Dominic Sicali's gonna get it. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. But remember, don't be a bitch and stay off the sauce. Dominic